Hello folks, back with a new video. And as Euro-USD has completed everything for this week. Just a second. Weekly objective is completed. Now I am looking for a TJF setup on that is Friday, and we have swept the previous day's high, that is here. Previous day high is swept, and I am looking for some retracement as it has reached the weekly objective. I am looking for this fair value gaps here to retrace and then again expand. So I am looking for this fair value gap, on the daily. So I would consider this as 4-hour ERL, that is this external range liquidity to this internal range liquidity, guys, or this you can consider 4-hour external range liquidity to internal range liquidity. No higher time frame IRL to ERL. But let's go on the 2-hour chart, and I put a vertical line here. So just a second, I want to show you something. So if I put a vertical line, we'll go to 1-hour chart. So if I put a vertical line from here to here, what we can see that is price respected this 1-hour bearish fair value gap here, whereas here price swept out the buy side liquidity. So on the 2-hour chart we will see. Okay, so on the 2-hour chart there is a fair value gap here which was respected, and price made a lower low here by respecting this. Bearish fair value gap here. Whereas the same 2-hour fair value gap was disrespected on euro, and price has to make a buy side liquidity sweep. Yeah, price has swept the buy side liquidity. So this is 2-hour SMT, where price respected this bearish fair value gap here. Where price respected this bearish fair value gap, whereas price disrespected this bearish fair value gap and made a buy side liquidity sweep here. So if price has swept the buy side liquidity here, by disrespecting this bearish fair value gap, and the higher time frame bias for me is this 4-hour IRL to this ERL, or this 4-hour ERL external liquidity to this internal liquidity, or this internal liquidity. And then on the 2-hour chart you can see a liquidity sweep here, whereas price respects this bearish fair value gap here. So although the objective is already reached, I still think this is gonna work. So price has swept out the buy side liquidity by disrespecting the bearish fair value gap. Where we move to definitely move to the sell side liquidity. and tap into this one, these fair value gaps here. So this trade is simple guys. Let me tell you something. 4 hour IRL to this 4 hour external range liquidity to internal range liquidity, or this internal range liquidity 4 hour external liquidity to this internal range liquidity, vice versa. I am saying we used to do IRL, will do ERL to IRL now, and price has swept out the buy side liquidity here. You are disrespecting the 2 hour fair value gap, whereas this respected bearish fair value gap was respected on GBP. So this is the trade guys. 4 hour ERL to this IRL or this IRL, and a 2 hour SMT where price has swept out the buy side liquidity by disrespecting this bearish fair value gap, whereas price respected this bearish fair value gap by not making higher high. So this is the trade guys, and on the 5-minute chart we can see that buy side is swept plus a market structure shift and a displacement here. This looks like 2022 model, right? So if buy side has been swept with the market structure shift and an FVG here, FVG we can see that 7383 7375. So that's a fair value gap, market structure shift plus FVG plus buy side equity sub. This looks like 2022 model, right? So this is the trade guys. So first of all, 4 hour external range liquidity has been tapped, and the price would move to in this internal range liquidity here, or this internal range liquidity here, or this internal range liquidity. We don't know that, but the price will definitely move lower with 2 hour SMT, where euro disrespected this bearish fair value gap and made a buy side liquidity sweep, whereas GBP respected this bearish fair value gap and made a lower low. So this is 4 hour external range liquidity to this internal range liquidity. First of all is our bias, and then 2 hour SMT, where euro has swept out the buy side liquidity by disrespecting this bearish fair value gap, whereas the same fair value gap has been respected on GBP. And then on the 5-minute chart we can see that buy side has been swept here plus a market structure shift and a displacement. So where would it move? It will move to the opposing liquidity, that is sell side, right? So this is the trade guys. So first of all, for our external range liquidity, that is this, for our external range liquidity to this internal range liquidity, or this, let's say, and then 2 hour SMT, where euro disrespected this bearish fair value gap here, disrespected this bearish fair value gap and made a buy side liquidity sweep, whereas GBP respected this fair value gap by making a lower low. 4 hour ERL external liquidity to internal range liquidity on euro, and then 2 hour SMT, where euro disrespected this bearish fair value gap here and made a buy side liquidity sweep, whereas GBP respected this and made a lower low with 5 minute where buy side liquidity has been swept plus a market structure shift and a fair value gap here. This looks like 2022 model, right? Where would the price move? Will move to opposing liquidity, that is this sell side liquidity here. So let's finish it once and all. 4 hour external range liquidity has been swept here. Now we want to anticipate a retracement to this internal range liquidity here. Or this internal range liquidity here. We want to see that 4 hour external range liquidity has been swept. Price would now want to move to this internal range liquidity. So buy side has been swept, so we will move to the sell side, that is this swing low here, and there is a bullish fair value gap here. So 4 hour IRL to this internal range liquidity and a 2 hour SMT where euro has swept the buy side liquidity by disrespecting this bearish fair value gap here, whereas the same fair value gap has been respected by GBP by making a lower low. So 4 hour ERL to IRL, 4 hour external range liquidity to this internal range liquidity, and then 2 hour SMT where euro has swept the buy side liquidity by disrespecting this bearish fair value gap, and then 5-minute chart. Buy side has been swept with a market structure shift and a bearish fair value gap, MSS plus FVG, and buy side liquidity swept. Where would the price move? It will definitely move to sell side liquidity. So let's see the trade now, guys. So this buy side liquidity is our stop loss and our target. So buy side liquidity, that is this protected SMT high, is our stop loss, and then a market structure shift plus FVG where I entered, and then the opposite PD area, that is this sell side liquidity, would be our target. So let's see how the trade goes, guys. Set plus market structure shift and a displacement here. So for our external range liquidity to this internal range or this internal range liquidity, and then 2 hour SMT where euro swept the buy side liquidity here by disrespecting this bearish fair value gap, whereas the same, if you see, price has respected this bearish fair value gap on the 2 hour. So 2 hour SMT and then on the 5-minute chart, 2022 model. So let's see how the trade goes, guys. Thank you. This is Friday's trade. Let's see when the take profit hits.